Hey, what's up, friends? Right with Dog at Tim Works. How y'all doing? So, yeah, it's getting cold outside. Here in Michigan, we've hit a couple of days where we were not quite sub-zero, but we were single digits. So, some of you may know this, some of you may not know, but some chainsaws have a winter and summer mode. Not all chainsaws, but some of them do. And I want to discuss and show you how to do various winter to summer modes or summer mode to winter modes on the saws that I own. Let's talk about what winter to summer mode does. Basically, in summer mode, you're pulling in fresh air. Heat is the enemy of small two-stroke engines, okay? And you want the fresh air, and you want to get the air evacuated from the saw because they're air-cooled engines. Okay, now in wintertime though, you pull, what happens is it blocks off the cold air intake, if you will, and rediverts fresh air from your cooling fins. So that air is heated. That warmer air helps atomize your fuel air mixture and combust better in the engine. Okay, so when you put it back into summer mode, what happens is you're drawing that fresh cool air because it's already, 70, 80, 90, 100 degrees out. You don't have problems with fuel atomization. Okay, when it's cold outside, I'm talking below freezing, wherever that is, that's 0 or 32. Oh, why can't we all just have the, the same thing and get along? But, so we'll just say sub-freezing. It really helps to pull in warm air to help with the atomization of your fuel air mixture. I do have first-hand experience with it on stihl saws and echo saws. So let's dive in, like I said, to this first one, and that is my little 250. Okay. So here's the little 250. And the way to do it on this saw is you have to remove this cover. So how you do that is you come down to choke. You have to get, you pull your throttle and then you push your selector all the way down. That's the choke engaged. This won't rotate out otherwise. You rotate that 90 degrees. And now we have access to the air filter, which is dirty. Okay, and what you need to look for is a little snowflake symbol and a little sun symbol. So this might be hard to see, but right here on this plastic tab is the sun symbol. I haven't run this saw in a while. So on this 250, you pull this up, flip it around, and now here's the snowflake symbol, and that's up. And so now we push this back in. And so as you can see, you need to make sure everything's dialed in and fitting right. Make sure everything's down in its little tabs. This might be easier with the air filter removed. Yep, I think it might be. Okay. See, so now you can see these little locating tabs. Summer mode, it's blocking this off. Winter mode, it's lowered down. Oh, catching on the ignition line. Okay, so now the whole cylinder or jug, whatever you want to call it, it's going to be sucking the warm air down into your intake. So if y'all can see that, we'll put this on. See, it's just, man, you can see right there. What a bad design. I don't know if that'll help any. Whatever, it is what it is. So now all the warm air is coming into your intake. And then you just simply put that back on. You can do that, and now you can pop off your choke. All right, so that's easy enough. All right. This is everybody's favorite saw, man, or one of them. If you're adventurous, you can get in there and try and get it without taking the top cover off. But this 261 is really easy to take this off. This is a pretty slick design on these top covers here. Okay. And this is exactly the same as a 271 Farm Boss. And so here you can see that snowflake right there. Okay, and then what the difference is this little orange tab in here, and you got your scranch or any other flathead, and you can pull this guy out. And then what you have is you have a little window that sections off fresh air or warm air. So it'll tell you right here, sun out, winter in. Okay, which is kind of, I know you work off the back of the saw, but so we push the window in. Okay, and I don't know if you can see down in there, but right here, that's putting the window right here. So we're pulling the warm air off the cooling fins into the intake. Okay, now down in there, you reverse the window and it blocks it off, and then that forces it to pull the air in from out over here. And this is cool, fresh air. In the winter mode, it pulls from the jug. So that is a 261, and I owned two 271s, and it's the exact same. Okay, now that's back on. Easy peasy. We'll get this out of the way because now we got the big saws coming up. Okay, here's this big old Haas 461. It's relatively easy too. This one's kind of easy to miss because it's here in your top cover. So you just take this guy off. All right, and then my oiled filter always comes off with it. As you can see, it was time to clean this thing and do some service on it. But it's doing its job. You see in there, the fines are all out and around. But yeah, I let this saw get a little bit dirty. It's my primary saw. Yeah, I'll need to watch all this stuff though. Okay, I don't even need this guy right here for that. So, what we do need to do is, see, I got all kinds of, not even fines, big stuff up in there. I do a lot of ripping and noodling. So, I'm just, alright, so like I said, this one's kind of easy to miss. But up here in this black tab this is your winter to summer mode. Okay, and so you can see right here, it's got two places for this tab to move. Here it shows it in summer mode. Down here it's in winter mode. So you kind of just, sometimes it's easier to just push on that with your scrunch. You push down and out. And kind of lever that out. It's kind of cold. I don't want to mess up the plastic. I'm not getting a good grip on anything. You kind of have to see it's got a little locating tab. You got to push that down and then pull out. So we'll try it this way. We'll push down here and then try and lever this guy up this way. Yep, that did it. Okay, this was not as bad. This is a whole lot worse than when I did this on my other channel for the summer mode. I'm struggling today. But there we go. Here's the winter slot. So you got summer up here, winter down here. And then you just relocate this tab down here. Okay, and so what that does is it blocks off this fresh air that's coming down here from the bottom of the saw down around this area here. This window's closed off, and then it opens this window up here So where it's pulling air from is, you can see up in here, you've got this little rubber piece, this boot, and then you've got this cut open slot down here, and so it can pull in warm air from the cylinder. All right, and now I normally keep this upwards. So now we are into winter mode. And that was not maintenance. That was just knocking all the big stuff off that filter. I still need to wash that out and re-oil it. Okay, so that's the 461 done. I don't know about the other models in the series, the 046, the 460, or the new 462. I can't speak off experience on those. Only the 461. And it's got this cover. But once you see this video and you see a couple of these saws, you kind of get the idea of how things work. So that's the 461. Okay, and now Echo just flat out wins this. They take the cake on this one. This one's sweet. So if you see right here by your decompression valve, you see a simple little sun and a snowflake down there. All right, and then right here, I'll go ahead. You don't need to take this cover off, but I'll take it off for the sake of seeing things. And again, this is a workhorse saw, and I haven't been doing my maintenance. But right here is your selector. So in is sun, and then out is winter. And everything's basically done with a scrunch, real easily. It's got a little locating tab right here. Okay, so this pulls this out. Now, where I was getting at is right here. Okay, and then you can just push that in. That's summer mode, and then you can pull this out, and that's winter mode. And see, you've got this boot right here, and that's pulling the warm air in from the cylinder into your intake area. So when you slide this little slot out, that's winter mode. When you push it in, that blocks that off, and then it forces, you know, to pull in air from down here. You know, fresh air away from the motor. So that's all this really is you're diverting fresh air away, and you're pulling in warm air from your cylinder. And like I said, that helps with the atomization of your fuel air mixture. Now, I only own one Husqvarna saw, and it's an older 371 XP. And it does not have winter to summer mode. It draws in the air, fresh air with the flywheel, and pushes it up into the top cover and into your intake system. So I don't know if that's why they don't have it or not, and I haven't run any of the 4 or the newer 5 series. So maybe that's a route they have gone. I don't know, so I'm not going to tell you one way or the other. I don't have first-hand experience with it. So anyways, friends, I don't think it's going to make or break your saw, but it does help, and it's there for a reason. I don't have any of the heated handles. I don't have any of those cool, really Arctic saws, but Michigan isn't horrible. I've lived in a lot worse places with worse winters. North Dakota, miserable. Mid to upper Michigan or Minnesota, that's a cold, miserable winter with lots of snow. Here in Michigan, we get it pretty easy. Northwest Ohio by Toledo, where I used to live, relatively easy too. And you can cut all winter long, and this just helps out. All right, friends, you know, I hate asking, but I really could use the help. You know, the likes and the subscriptions to the channel really help the algorithm get this content out to the people that want it or need it when we got grease. But yeah, you know, give the video a like if you got anything from it. Leave me some comments down below in the comment section. You know, we could discuss cold weather cutting, cold weather mode, whether it's a make or a break for a saw brand or model for you. And please subscribe to the channel. You know, I kind of do a little bit of everything. You know, I like wood turning. I like barbecuing, and both of those hobbies are supported by my chainsaws. So, you know, I love my chainsaws. They're my other hobbies start and are funded and supported by my chainsaws. You know, I sell some firewood on the side. I cut my own wood for smoking, and I cut my own bowl blanks and spindle blanks for turning. I don't like buying wood. I'd rather just, there's tons of it free out there laying around. All you gotta do is put in some work. So, I'm just rambling along. We'll catch you next time, friends. Oh man, look at this mess.